https://discord.gg/flat-earth. Welcome to 24/7 Flat Earth Discord channel. Be sure to go to VC Chi Check and 1 to get your VC verification tags to get involved in the conversation about our Earth. Be sure to bring your verifiable Earth curvature evidence, though.
Event on Politics server, Saturday the 30th of September 2023.
On the surface of the Earth, right? You take your 3 points.
Not on the surface either.
They're not on the
What,
surface.
are you taking them in the air?
Yeah,
Yes.
because it's an elevation angle, you fucking retard. Is the
Okay,
let's
right.
say I was taking an elevation
Oh my
angle
God,
to the
right,
sun.
okay, let's
Is
not
the
get
sun
derailed.
on the Earth on the surface?
Let's say they're
You
all at
dumb
the same
shit,
altitude.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's say they're all at the same altitude, right?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
to each
We're
position.
all at the same altitude. I'm
Right.
all at the same. I'm at the same altitude as the sun.
No,
Fucking
I'm
retard.
Sun doesn't have an altitude, bro.
And this is more
Has a
confusion, so what's the point right now?
He's
the point
he's a
is, look,
retard.
this is what I'm describing. You're saying, so you get 3 points, right? All at the same altitude using the altitude corrector, right?
What the
And
fuck, man?
The stars that you align with, they
This-
point to the center,
No,
so
no,
you can
no,
see
no,
where you are.
no. Not. What is an elevation angle, clown?
Why are you asking me this question like it holds all of the weight of the argument?
Yeah, because it does. Because it destroys your globe tard. What is an elevation angle?
I'm just a globetard, bro. I can't answer. Sorry.
Yeah, you
I don't
damn
like
skippy,
speaking to you.
because you have to deny the very existence of a sextant. Because it measures elevation angles. And the only way to get elevation angles is to employ right angle triangles. And those are 3 straight lines. Specifically, that bottom line, the adjacent part of the triangle, has to be horizontal, flat, level. You're finished. Say goodnight. Welcome to Flat Earth. Snacks are in the back. Anyone else?
I'm sure loads of people want to talk to you.
We
Yeah,
do.
I know they don't, because they're going to get their asses handed to them quick.
Is that what this is about, winning an argument?
Yeah, no, it's about shoving pretender clown noses into their heliocentric ball-tard turd. That's what this is about. Yes.
How old are you?
What does that have anything to do with this?
Let's not even
Oh.
go off this ad hominem kind of.
What's my favorite color?
Just asking how old you are, bro. That's
What
not,
do
no,
I
that's-
feel about Democrats?
Turquoise.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you son
I'm
of a
sorry.
bitch.
Sorry, bro.
This is. I mean, look. All we're talking about is something very, very simple. But people like yourself, and I don't mean to be rude, but
No, that's
friend
cool, bro.
also-
That's cool.
oh, that's fine. Seem to want to dodge this because somewhere in the back of their mind, you know we're right, and it
Nah.
takes the ball away from you.
Jedi,
The
I genuinely don't think like that. Like, let's not see whether who's right here. Let's just understand each other's thought process, because I think that's more. I think that's more
No.
useful.
Not who's right, what's right.
No.
Not
It
who.
doesn't matter who's right. No,
It's
exactly.
not who. What is the truth? So what is define an elevation
I was talking to
angle.
Jedi Quantum.
Yeah, you bet your ass you are. But now you're not. You're talking to me. Define an elevation angle.
Anyway, Jedi. What was I saying?
Yeah, you betcha.
This is exactly what I mean. The running away. I mean, I've asked
Well,
this question.
he is being kind of like antagonizing.
No, and no one really cares. And really, we
Right.
don't
So
want
why
people-
should I host a good-willed conversation with this man?
A goodwill with this man.
Yeah,
A
because
goodwill
I'm being
conversation.
patient.
Why,
Like,
as you are a pretender clown fraud, have a conversation with somebody who's going to rub your nose in that heliocentric ball-tard turd? Yeah. Yep. That's what everyone already knows it. I mean, you're pretending like we don't know it, but we know what you are. And I'm going to rub your nose in it. Right now, what is an elevation angle? I mean, to use a sextant is used to acquire elevation angles. Yes? You
Yeah.
betcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right, bro.
You betcha. So at 27 minutes after the hour, I'll go ahead and post the citations in support of what a fucking elevation angle is and how they're used. So
you.
from radar
Appreciate that.
tutorial, I don't need any help from you. Just go on mute. Thank you. Elevation angle is the angle between the horizontal plane and the line of sight measured in the vertical plane. That's interesting. From GCSE 2021 edition, Angles of Elevation. And an angle of elevation is the angle from the lower object to the higher one, while an angle of depression is the angle from the higher object to the lower one. Both angles are measured with respect to the horizontal plane of the reference object. My next question, and only question, can you please show how you can have a horizontal plane on a sphere tard?
So, let's say you have a ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just follow me. Let's say you have a football, whatever, like a soccer ball, sorry. That's
for
right.
fuck's sake.
You zoom in, right? Let's say that soccer ball is the same size as the predicted Earth, if it was to be round.
Predicted Earth. I
You
don't
zoom
think
in.
so.
Okay, well, let's just take the prediction anyway,
What prediction?
because it's the predicted diameter of the Earth.
Can't do
Let's
that.
And
say
what's
we
that?
match the scales. It
Right.
doesn't matter. What I'm saying is,
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
football
matter to
is a
scale.
1-1.
It doesn't matter to scale. You will never find
No,
a
the
horizontal
scale
plane.
does
You will
matter.
never find a horizontal plane
Quantum.
on any
No,
scale of a sphere tard. No, not
Quantum.
one.
I'm literally begging
Don't
you.
say my name, bitch.
Eraser.
Ed,
What I was.
Ed.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm begging you not to do this, mate, because I'm just going to remind you that the GP of the star can be in the distance of 4,000 miles. Your scale's not going to work here, mate.
Yeah, it goes under the curvature of the Earth.
Oh, it doesn't.
Delusional. You're
It goes
delusional.
under the curvature of the earth.
You're actually delusional.
Yeah,
Hey,
scale
listen,
is
buddy.
important. How do
Hey,
you feel
listen,
about
buddy.
scale maps?
Go take a string line, right? Like a 1,000-mile
me.
long string line.
No, excuse
and
me.
wrap it around
I-
the earth
do I
and
insult
follow
any
the
of
line.
you?
It's curved, genius.
Do I insult any of
the
you
earth
for describing your
is
beliefs? No, I do
curved.
not. So please.
You ever
Scale
drove a
have some
ship
decorum.
before?
Hey,
And
somebody
don't
put
do it.
You ever-
track.
Hey, mute yourself,
Somebody
faggot.
put track
Shut
shoot
up.
Timmy
Hey,
on
calm
a
down,
fucking
Mute
guys.
yourself,
We're having
faggot.
a
track
good
shoot
conversation
fucking
on terms.
retard.
No,
Track
Faggot.
shoot Timmy.
Shut up,
Nobody.
you
Yo.
old
Track
bastard.
shoot Timmy.
That
Hey,
homeboy's
Quantum,
getting
shut
bad.
up,
Hey,
faggot.
somebody put
You're
this
old.
fucking idiot
You're
on
old as
mute.
fuck. Go sell your
Nah,
Nissan
dude,
Hey,
Corolla,
Jetty,
bitch.
put this
Banning him.
fucking
Calm
Go
idiot
sell
down.
your
on mute.
cars, faggot. Be quiet.
Faggot, your sister's a faggot. Hey,
Your
Jetty,
mom's a
Hey,
faggot.
track
hold
shoot
on,
Timmy.
hold on. Listen, you
Hey,
both get
AI,
muted for 40
put that
minutes now.
fucking guy on mute.
I can't. But listen,
You're
you both crossed the line. Okay, you're not allowed to say the F word.
What?
So, yeah, that's the way it is.
Well,
We're
you
not-
can say it. It's just the repercussions. Like it's.
Oh yeah,
silly.
yeah, exactly.
We're
Well,
we're not allowed to say the F word anymore, AI.
fuck you. I
Correct.
can say fuck whenever I want to fucking say fuck.
Not that
Well,
word.
that's-
Oh,
that's
what F word are we talking about? I thought we were talking about fuck.
The word that
Sorry.
rhymes with a bundle of sticks.
sticks.
Yeah,
That's-
sticks.
The F word is also what a bundle of sticks is called, or a cigarette in the UK.
We also have meatballs called them as well.
Oh, you're right.
My
Alright, so-
brains.
Homeboy one obviously did it egregiously, so he's getting a 2-day ban. The other homeboy is getting muted for 4 minutes.
Oh no.
Now, technically, you're supposed to be getting muted for 40 minutes. However, you weren't aware, so this is your one mulligan.
Oh, I'm not aware of the rules. Sorry.
Awesome. Welcome to 24/7. What's a fucking triangle?
So, anyways, where were we? Under a curvature. That's where we were.
Yeah, true. Also, I
Right,
just want
but-
to point out, I don't care what you guys think, like, and I'm not going to judge you for thinking differently. That's fine. We will disagree. I don't think there's a way I can show you my side without with you changing your mind, and there's no way you can do it to me. So why don't we just have like a more fun, lighthearted discussion about?
Well, you brought up scale before, right? Like you
Well,
said, scale is important.
I did
right?
bring up scale, yeah, I did bring up scale.
Right. So
But what I was
your
trying
what
to
are your
convey.
thoughts?
So
I wanted to know what your thoughts are on scale maps.
scaled maps. Well,
And
maps tend to be a two-dimensional plane along the axes of x and y, right?
That's because that's how
Now,
distances are measured, right?
not always. Depends on how many distances you're measuring.
Okay. When does the scale on a map not apply? Can you tell me that?
Well, the scale of a map will always apply when it's mapping a two-dimensional flat surface. However,
No matter how big it is, right?
no matter how big, like let's say the GTA 5
Right.
map, right? That's just an image. It's just a PNG, right? Which is a flat two-dimensional image. You can
What
zoom
about a
in
scale
and
map?
out. You can scale it, like as long as you've got a good map engine where you create maps for video games or like even a
Okay.
map
Now,
program.
how about a scale map of the entire United States, or say Europe, or India, or even Africa?
I mean, you can go on like applications on the internet such as Google Earth to get that sort of effect. However, Google
I just want to
Earth
know
limits
if you
your
think
zoom
that
in and out.
I just want to know if you think that they're correct.
Oh, I mean, well, they're correct to some degree, but it's like, have you ever heard of the problem of measuring a coastline of a country, right? You can't technically do
I'm
it.
just asking about the scale.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the scale
That's it.
is accurate within a certain degree that you want to measure. So, let's say, realistically, the way GPS has evolved, where that sort of planning of a 3D object onto a 2D map, right? Where that's an instance that we use every day, we can only zoom in so far, but it's far enough because we need it for
I don't know what you're
street
talking about.
working. Okay, so I'm
You're going
talking
off
about
on other
scaling.
stuff.
So
Yeah.
as you zoom in, right?
Like, okay, hold on. If I measure a mile straight line horizontal,
Yes.
that's a straight line, isn't it? It's not a mile and then some.
If you're measuring
Right?
it on a piece of
Yeah.
paper and you draw it straight and narrow, then yes, it will be a straight line.
Good. So then I could transpose that to a piece of paper or something, and I could represent that area one, like let's say like 50 to 1.
Area.
Yeah. Yeah. If I measure an entire area.
So there's 4 distances or one consecutive round distance, like a.
Yeah. I just want to know
Right.
if
So
you think
you
that
take
scale
you draw a
maps are.
circle on.
I just want to know if you think that scale maps are accurate.
Well, I've given you your answer, like.
Yeah, but it was kind of namby-pamby.
But
Either yes or no.
That's because of no.
Okay.
How it works.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So when
I
does
can't
the
give you an answer for
scale?
that.
So when does the scale on a map not apply?
I don't know. Like, I guess depends on how detailed the map is. I mean, you
It's
could
got
have an
everything.
infinitely.
What are you talking about?
So, let's say you have a map of your town, right? You could zoom in as far as down to the centimeter, but anything smaller than the distance of a centimeter, right, isn't going to be accurately measured at a distance.
This is going off the rails.
What?
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Just not answering the question, dude.
Okay, right. Jedi, how about you answer his question so I can see how you would want me to?
Well, when is scale not important? It's always
Yeah.
important.
Well, when does it not apply? Like, if I have a scale map of the entire continent of Africa, and it's 1 to 9 million scale, so 1 inch represents 9 million real inches on Earth in a straight line distance. Okay, so when does that not apply? It applies to the entire area of the map, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
So you wanted me to agree with
Kinda.
you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a kind of a formulated question that should made you think, and it's obvious the answer.
No, I don't know about that one.
And the only reason I asked is because you brought up scale.
Yeah, I mean,
So
where I was
yeah.
going with scale was basically it didn't matter what the actual scale of the ball is, it's just that it's on a 1-to-1 with the Earth. So then you could zoom in on the ball because we know the ball has a curve, right? We know it's round. So when you zoom in, you take the equivalent of whatever a mile would be when the ball is the scale to the Earth, and it would be a straight line.
Awesome. This is why I brought up the distance of 4,000 miles with regards to the sextant position and the ground position of Polaris. 4,000 miles. This is why I begged you not to do it.
So 4,000 miles in any direction, right?
Yeah. This is how.
Is there
far
an
it is.
image of something 4,000 miles away?
Well, so this is how latitude lines were created, specifically declination angles of Polaris. Move further south away from Polaris, 90 degrees underneath, move further and further and further away. What's the distance from the North Pole to the equator?
Oh, I wouldn't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah. So we have to understand that this is how latitude lines were created in the first instance.
The distance
So,
between the... Okay,
GP of Polaris, and then keep going south until you reach the equator. Then you've basically got 0 degrees. Now you've got a straight line. You ain't got a triangle anymore.
You got a straight line, what, from that point to... Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, Polaris is
So
the
if you were to
finest
look at it as a two-dimensional plane, right, you go from point X, which is the North Pole, all the way down to point Y, and there's no curvature at all, it's just a straight drawn line.
Yeah. That's how we get latitude lines, because we use the sextant to do that. It's elevation, well, in this case, declination.
What is it that defines the equator then?
That would be 0 degrees from Polaris.
Well, 0 degrees, right, but I don't get how we can loop back on ourselves if we were to go from the North Pole down to the equator, because we'd be able to measure that we did that. But then we'd also be able to measure going from the equator down to the South Pole and then keep going in the same direction in reverse order, and we'll get back to the North Pole. How does that work if we're
It's
on
called a circle.
2D plane?
Well, we're not talking about a ball here, mate. We're just talking about the distance.
No, but I'm talking. Okay, talk about the distance.
Yeah, you brought up scale. So what? Half the distance from the North Pole geographical point of Polaris to the equator.
Ignore that I said anything about an Earth, like a ball, right? There's no ball.
Yeah, but that's your measurement. This is why I begged you not to bring up scale.
Okay, well, let's ignore scale and let's talk about the fact that we end up in the same place as we were if we keep walking in one direction.
Okay, so which direction are we going?
You can go any direction you like.
Okay, in reference to what?
Okay, so let's say we're at the equator and we head easterly.
Awesome stuff. So what, we've got a central point and we're just going around a circle of a central point. It's just a circle.
So we can use the sextant to see what angle we're facing on the plane of the Earth, right?
Yeah.
So if we constantly follow that angle, we know we aren't turning, because to turn the heading of the angle has to change.
My goodness me, you do understand this is the same idea on a ball. What you talking about specifically the equator? Because
Say
it's
that
the
again,
same
sorry.
idea. It's the same idea on a ball as it is the flat Earth, mate. You're just going around a central point. Now, if you want to be talking about the equator,
So is the central point the North Pole?
Well, if we're going to be using cardinal directions, northeast, southwest, yeah. If we're going to be using the reference point of the ground position of Polaris, yeah, because you're just going around in a circle. Same on the ball, same in this idea of a flat Earth.
Right,
Same
but
with
if you
the
go round a circle, right, you're walking physically, like, as you do, your face moves in the same direction as you put your feet down.
What
Right, so
the
that's your
hell are you
perspective.
talking about?
As you walk around a circle.
This is remedial dumb shit.
Okay.
What
See-
happened to your elevation angle? What happened to that? And the triangle, what happened to that? Why was he allowed to go past that?
Well, I talked about the triangle.
Thanks for
Wha-
releasing me for the arbitrary language. I appreciate
Anyway.
that. The triangle,
Good
yeah.
night, fellas.
Yeah, you better boot scoot, because it's your ass. Clown.
You call everyone a clown.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
are a
very nice.
clown. What if we go east? What can the sextant? You don't know what a fucking sextant is.
You sail around the world, bro.
It's not. You sailed around. I know what a fucking. I'm the only one in this room that
I
is
just said you
certifiable.
sail
and
around
that-
the
Shut the
world.
fuck up.
Yeah, you
I'm
clearly have
the only
autism.
one in this room that's
Clearly have
certifiable
autism.
in navigation. No doubt about that. No fucking doubt. So just shut the.
Okay.
Just leave.
I've resisted not being rude to
You
you, pal.
dumb fuck. Fucking shut up. Fucking
You scared him
clown.
off. He
Well, if
left.
I turn my face to the east and I start walking, what do you mean to the east? You mean 90 degrees or east? Dead reckoning. You dumb fuck. You don't know any. It's fucking pedestrian. F.E. Jedi, why the fuck did you let him do that?
I do you know what? I got bored. I'll be honest with you. we got down to his scaling. We got down to the measurement using Polaris ground position and how we got fucking latitude lines and 4,000 miles thereabouts, whatever. But then he decided to keep going and wanted to circumnavigate the Earth north to south, and then he wanted to go east. That's where he ended up, mate.
Yeah. Well, the most you can even using their bullshit, it's 4,830 miles.
So it's at 40. Wow.
4,830. That's with a 20-degree elevation angle.
Wow. Okay. Fair play.
So
Thank you.
just FYI, 48. So nearly 5,000 miles.
Thank you. Wow. See, I was always like safe balling it at 3,000 to 4,000 miles, but fuck it, I'll use 5,000 miles next time.
There you go.
5,000 mile straight horizontal baseline between the ground position of the star and you if you're fucking sextant. Awesome. So scaling hasn't got anything to do with it, and that's a measurement of the Earth.
And you don't navigate using the sextant. It's a form of resection. Only one. Oh, listen, I have to take that back. Unless he has an expert infantryman's badge, AI Overlord, then I am the only one certifiable in navigation. So, AI Overlord 2.0, do you have an expert infantryman's badge?
We don't have that. It's a different name.
Yeah, it's a
But
pug
it's
badge.
land
So
nav.
it's a pug badge, so no, you don't. So I am the only one.
Oh, you're saying you have a Pogue badge?
No, I'm saying you have a pug badge. I have an
See?
EIB. Yeah.
See, no respect around here.
You keep on mooting me, you're gonna get fucking no respect. You're mooting retroactively.
Look, just because you live in a universe at 30 frames per second and I live at a universe at 15 frames per second, okay?
Yeah. Well, what's good for me isn't necessarily good for the feeble-minded.
Uh,
All right, I haven't done this for a while. I don't
And
even know.
I wasn't done yet, Jetty.
Oh, for fuck's sake, sorry, boss.
All right. All right. Now, don't get into that when they say tangent, ask them where the tangent mirror on the sextant is, because they're just pulling shit out their ass. The tangent isn't used for any type of dip angle correction. The dip angle, it's not even dip angle, it's dip correction. The dip correction is based on the height of the observer above the deck.
Altitude correction.
It's a height. Now, don't say altitude. You'll confuse everyone. Just say height. It's a height of eye correction. And you know when they make that? By the way, let's take a look. So I want to direct everyone's attention because this is the rubber ducky life preserver argument. So at 48 minutes after the hour from Celestial Navigation, the Mariner's Handbook. So since the value of dip, got it, depends on the height of eye, that's why they call it height of eye correction, above the surface of the sea, it is advisable always to ascertain beforehand, like at dock, the exact vertical distance from the water line to the fucking bridge or other place. Wait till you hear the rest of this. Or the other place occupied by the observer when measuring altitudes. Listen to this. Due allowance should be made for any reduction or increase in the vertical distance when the ship is loaded or light, or when it is considerable list to either side. Yeah, that'll put hair on your chest.
It actually has. Thanks, boss.
I figured it would. That's why I posted it.
And I
Sorry
copied it.
sorry for the public correction, but I don't have
No,
the time nor the
no, that's-
inclination to friggin' wait.
I'd say this is the honesty with me. I like the correction. I appreciate the correction. I
Yes,
understand
don't
where
put
my-
don't put up with their fairy tale fuckwit tangents. There is no tangent mirror on a sextant. There are no tangents in celestial navigation. Challenge them. When they say tangent, go with the tangent and tangent mirror on the sextant. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But
Well-
challenge them in any celestial navigation literature to come up with the fucking word tangent. You won't find it. It's
They got
horseshit.
no tangent anyway because they don't have a physical curve to go to.
Exactly. It's begging the question. Thank you very much. It's also begging the question because they're assuming the sphere in the first instance with a tangent. Because what's a tangent?
A line.
A line that intersects a circle at one point.
Yeah. Or a sphere-tard. Carry on.
No, brilliant. I learned something. Thank you, boss.
And the horizon
Yeah.
moves in and out. So where's the tangent to if there's no curve? And we have a horizon that's optical. They lose their tangent there as well.
There's a bunch of them that are like that. For example, claiming that something's precession, right? Well, but you go to the definition of precession, it's begging the question if you haven't validated the other axis. In the first instance, you're just poofing an axis out of thin air by claiming what you're witnessing is precession.
Yeah, and this optical stuff, I'd just like to bring this up. There's a lot of people, a lot of flat earthers claiming that shit is optical. That not only is fucking irrelevant to the point at hand, unless they're going to get into a deep fucking dive into optical, the difference between optical and something physical. So I would be very careful saying, well, it's optical. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, of course, we're seeing it. Yeah, it's optical. What difference does that make? And then
Sorry,
you're
I
going to
should've-
argue for 25 minutes over nonsensical bullshittery. Right? So get out of the flatsoid game here. Oh, it's only optical.
So I was going to say apparent is what I was meant to say, but I was going to say that they lose that ability to have a tangent to an apparent horizon, not a physical horizon.
Yeah,
Wait, so
that's
it's not
Correct me
optical?
if I'm wrong.
that's a little dicey. That's a little dicey too. What does apparent mean in this context?
Well, I suppose it would be the apparent location where the sky meets the ground. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, what does apparent mean?
I see it.
No,
Go on.
it means not actual.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, of course.
In this
Seemingly
context,
real or true.
yeah. In this context, that's what it means. So be real careful.
Yeah, sweet.
I'm
So the
not
fact
saying
that
that just to you, Timbo. I'm saying that to everyone.
No, that's AJ.
I'm sorry, AJ. I'm not saying it to you. I'm saying it to everyone. Be real careful with that fucking term.
John,
It's
can I ask
context.
you?
It's context dependent.
so you're
John, can I
saying
ask
that it was beaten into me that the horizon is optical and now it's not?
It is optical. So a lot of other things are optical too. So,
So it is optical, or is it not?
well, fuck
John,
yeah, we fucking see it.
Okay.
John, can I ask you a question about horizon?
Oh, I
You
Is
said
it wait? Is it that place what we call horizon? Okay, it's apparent, but is it made by optical illusion and the sky, or the physical water and the sky?
It's perspective.
It
So
is.
when they say that it's the apparent junction between the earth and sky, that means it's the not actual junction between the earth and sky because the earth and sky don't fucking meet.
Yeah, of course. But that line is made because of that air and that apparent place. But that water is not, how to say, it's not optical. It's there. It's
Yeah,
real.
it's there. Yeah. Well,
no.
it's neither one nor
Sometimes.
hold on, Alishness. You'll have plenty of time. Just be careful. All I'm saying is be careful with well, it's just optical. That is not a fucking argument.
No,
It's
I'm not
just
saying that.
not to you. It's a target
Oh,
on
okay.
your back and you're going to get compromised
Okay.
by anyone that has any salt.
Yeah,
Follow?
I that's exact because I literally looked up the definition of horizon and said it's the apparent place where the sky meets the earth.
Right. So that means the not actual part,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Because the sky doesn't meet the earth ever.
Yeah, because it was the gotcha where it was like, oh well, it's a physical. It's physically. I'm telling
I've
you.
got the more advanced definition.
Go ahead, AI. Maybe it's this
It's
is
the
your area.
apparent position in your field of view where the color field of the ground meets the color field of the sky.
Pretty darn
What
good.
about it on the ocean?
Same thing.
They're
Ground,
both
you can
blue.
use ocean.
The ground the ocean reflects the sky.
Right, but here's the problem. Here's the problem when you're out in the ocean, see, because the hues are so similar, it's hard to tell sometimes exactly where it is. And then you've got the problem of tonal and internal reflection and other problems, which make it look even closer than it normally would. But still, when you look out, that's all you can determine. You could just see a line between a distinct color field, and then maybe a blur some days, maybe not. And then there's another color field, and that's all you can determine, because that's the only way you can tell the difference. Because if it's all the same color, you wouldn't notice any difference.
Well, if the horizon is apparent, then imagine the radius.
We can get into that, but Adam Price made a good point. The globe model that doesn't exist claim that the
Yeah.
horizon is geometric.
Yeah.
So you can't get out of that as a globe-tart. See, all your explanations are already given to you. They can't change unless you make shit up. That's part of the left-wing fuckwit faction of anti-flat earthers I always speak of. But remember, the globe model that doesn't exist claimed that there is a geometric horizon. Now, the horizon can be closer than that due to many conditions, right? But it can't be further than the geometric constraints. Never. Follow? Everyone got that?
Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
That I'm
Nope.
saying, John, when I want to explain people Black Swan, that if they see some observation on a 4 or 6 miles day before, and then they get other results on 10 miles, that means I throw away that 4 or 6, but something is happening. I don't care anymore because I'm pointing out now what I can see on 10 miles. I don't care these days what I can see on 4 and 6 miles.
Correct. The rate limiting step is the extreme. Yes. Makes sense?
Of course.
So then am I wrong in saying that apparent therefore can't be physical?
No. Still physical. The water's still physical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't say that. A lot. I don't know where they got that from. I've been wanting to talk about that for a while, but since it's been brought up now. Yeah, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I think because their claim is that what we're seeing is a horizon refracted back.
You can't do that. Yeah. Number one,
Correct.
refraction, they don't know what refraction is. Number two, even in their own paradigm of refraction, it never affects the horizon. It only affects objects relative to the horizon. So this is all. My next ball busters after we dealt a death blow to Hanoi Geraint again today, the next one's going to be refraction because it's about that time. I've already got, I think, 3 of them that I've done, but it's time again.
So there's this common thing where they think the horizon is always below eye level, right? Which is practically true. However, in their view of refraction, the horizon should, at various times, be well above the midline of your vision. And you notice how they always do that to debunk supposed flat Earth observations by saying, "Oh, these mountains in the distance don't seem to have the same scale compared to the midline of your vision." But they're telling you that the angles from the horizon are going to come up over itself and then down into your eye, right? That would create a steeper angle. That would render the image above the midline of your vision. Follow that?
No.
All right. So in other words, when you take your head and you look down, like right now,
Thanks,
I'm
Alex.
standing on a cement, right? I'm standing on a cement parking lot, pavement. When I look down, straight towards the bottom there, the majority of my vision's field of view is taken up by the cement. If I look straight ahead, only the bottom portion has the vision in it. So if their version of refraction was true, different days with different refraction, you should see the horizon look as if you're looking down. But that just doesn't happen.
If I close my eyes, I can't see anything.
Right. Therefore, your face is a globe.
If you close your eyes, you can see the sphere.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the best way to prove the sphere. Close your eyes.
I win.
Well, that's actually how a lot of the things start, don't they? Close your eyes. Now imagine you're an ant on a beach ball.
There it is.
Let me ask you a question anyway. Since the Globetard says that every point along a tangent from your feet drops away from you at 8 inches per mile squared, then how the hell is any distant horizon coming even close to your eye level?
This did see. I've always thought this back in 2015. This was one of the first things that I thought about. If that surface is curving down and away from you, then it shouldn't ever come up to your eye line.
Or even close to it?
Yeah.
It's a good question, isn't it?
It's one of the first things I thought about.
You're not
Well,
tall
you're a
enough to
wise
see that
man.
far.
Say again?
You're not tall enough to see that far.
To see what? 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 That's not a rebuttal to what I just said.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. How is that a fucking rebuttal to what I just said?
Because
Close
you
your
don't
eyes.
have.
What?
Pizza.
Listen to this. I'm going to do it slowly. If the sphere tard is allegedly a globe, then it follows that 8 inches per mile squared drop, according to Pythagorean formula. So you could do it by trig, but I just go with Pythagorean. It's easier. 8 inches per mile squared drop from a tangent in every direction from your feet. So if it doesn't matter how far. Let's say I'm looking at, 3 or 4 miles. It shouldn't come up close to my eye level at any time.
We've all stood on hills, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you would how you would calculate that. I mean, I would assume it would be because you can't really see that with your own eyes.
How you would calculate
You're
what?
right. You're right. No, forget about the Globers' understanding because they never understood what you would expect to see on a globe. Right. Like, I
But
mean,
I
it's
mean,
simple. If you're standing on a hill, like,
yeah.
obviously, you're not going to be able to. So it's like, well, actually, your baby ball globe that's only 3,959 miles in circumference, like, at that 3 mile mark for a 6 foot observer, why the fuck would I be able to zoom in to an area where from that frame of reference, the fucking horizon should not even be in my field of view if I'm zooming in?
So I should just see sky then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, that's not what he's saying. For goodness sakes.
Well, kind of,
No,
sort of.
no,
If you think
no.
about, if you think about, like, when you're zooming in, then you're kind of removing all of the other like all of the other area when you're zooming in. You can't see all of the picture that you would have seen if you didn't zoom in.
So there's
Just like I
So
could have the ground in the sky in my foreground and then zoom in at a slightly elevated angle and then just have sky.
Why are you trying to adulterate my argument?
so if I only have a certain field of view, like my eyes can only
That's not an
see.
answer to my question. Why are they trying to adulterate my argument here?
I don't know what adulterate means.
You don't.
No.
Thou shalt not commit adulteration. Duh.
Well, it's simple enough. Yeah, the horizon should never even be anywhere near eye level.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
So then you have to ask the question, Elijah, why does the horizon, since the ground is below you, right? Why should it ever be approaching your eye level at all?
Yes. Correct.
because you don't have a 360-degree view at
Oh,
all
any
times.
horizon, whether it's a flat plane, whatever.
You should, because you would see more ground. So like if you look and you're seeing the ground below the ground, you would see more ground, right?
Why is the horizon rising up to my eye level when it should be dropping, woman?
Because you're seeing the ground below the horizon.
I'm
You're seeing
seeing ground below the horizon? Really?
Yeah.
Do I have X-ray vision?
You must.
You might.
What do you think? I'm Superman? I know you do. Let's keep your personal opinions out of this. That really doesn't make any damn sense.
Are you claiming we see the ground under the ground?
Yeah. Well, no. Yes.
Well, no. Yes. And planes have angular velocity.
Yes.
Anyway, Alishness, the correct answer that I was trying to bait Elijah into saying is perspective. The only reason anything comes up to the midline of your vision that is actually altitudinally or height below you is because of the law of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Be
all has
careful.
to do with propagation angles to your reception angles, right? So the
I
angles
would
of
be
light coming in are rendered at different points in your field of view, right?
I'd be careful of that, by the way. The law of
You're saying
perspective. I'm that this is another education point. Be careful of that law of perspective because you're not going to be able to post that shit.
you're saying
If
light is
somebody,
hitting what now?
As an art,
if somebody challenges you to post the law of perspective and define it, I challenge you right now to do it.
it's an art term.
I don't give a shit what it's actually a phrase, law of perspective. Can somebody post the law of perspective? I'm not singling you out, AI. This is another pet peeve of mine. Law of perspective. Somebody post that some bitch in the chat. I want to see it.
All images obtained through an optical means will suffer as they recede away from the optic in distance from an angular decrease of the propagation to the reception that will cause the final rendered image to be at an angle inverse to the oh my goodness, what's it called? The plane, the focal plane or lens. Such angle decreases as the distance to the object increases. There you go.
No, I want the law of perspective specifically. Alishness to an
I
observer.
just
The
made it
law.
up.
Post it.
And you can attribute it to me.
Post it.
What?
I just made
what
it
am I
up.
posting?
Oh, you said you just made it up. Gotcha.
Yeah, that was good.
This is not a definition of the law of perspective.
Hold on. It's not.
No, that's something the law of perspective apparently causes.
Oh, this is the wait, flatearth.ws. I didn't look at that. Wait, what am I looking at? The rules of perspective? The 7 laws of perspective?
Yeah, there's 3 rules and 7 laws.
I guess
it's not one. It's not just one.
Yeah, that has all to do with drawing and painting.
There is a mathematical I wouldn't say it's a law necessarily, but there is some formula. Like if an object increases like twice the distance, it quarters the angle or halves the angle or something like that.
Well, that's the inverse square law. I don't want that. I want the law of perspective.
I'm not sure how to search for this in a
You type law of perspective in like
I
a search
did.
engine.
That's what I got was to an observer
Even that,
the law.
yeah.
Yeah, that is.
That's my point.
Oh, okay. So your point is you can't find it.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that perspective doesn't exist. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is be careful with that phrase, law of perspective. That's all I'm saying.
Who made it up? Who says that?
Pretender clown flat earthers probably at the beginning and no one back or fact checked them.
No, but see, the thing is that the term perspective that's applied in all of these things where they draw these lines and they say this should be here and that should be there. That's all from linear perspective, which is all done in the arts.
Right.
People were trying to make so check it out. You got a 3-dimensional world, right? And the methodologies we have to recreate imagery from a 3-dimensional world are 2-dimensional. And so there's compounding axes. So the y-axis and the z-axis, which is the height and depth information, are compounded. They're also compounded on the x-axis as well. But it's more pronounced in average life. Like we really see it in the vertical perspective the most.
Yeah. Yep.
Because that's how we live. Like we live in a world that's very vertical. Like we're on the ground and the sky is above us really high. But like when we go out, we see all these things, and these artists of the time noticed that, and they started implying these quote unquote laws of how to essentially mimic the 3-dimensional world on a 2-dimensional surface, so that when you look at it, it informs you based on those ways you interact with the real world, to look at this thing as if it has depth, as if it has this same character that the real world has. And there are, like Crit said, a few principles and then some things that are called laws when it all applies to this. The basic concept, though, is that as things get further away, they appear smaller in your field of view, and they appear to go towards the center of your field of view, just as we all experience throughout our lives, because all of us have an angular field of view. In fact, an optic with a non-angular field of view would actually be quite stupid, because you wouldn't be able to have a small optical aperture and get much vision, right? So we see in a wide angle. If we saw in the same size as our aperture, which is about 2 centimeters, what could we really see? Barely anything. We'd have to scan our eyes around like a million times a second to be able to get any information about the outside world. It'd be quite a joke. So the further something is away from you on the same plane, so it hasn't changed in altitude, it hasn't changed left or right. Okay, if it's already towards the center of your vision, it's going to appear to generally stay there. If it's to the left or above or down, it's going to appear to move in what's going to appear to you in a linear fashion towards the center of your vision, from the left to the right, from the right to the left, from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top. And it's going to aggregate around the center. And that's because as you get out there and you trace the angles, the triangles, you notice that the angle gets more acute towards the optic, right? Which means that that inverse angle, that after it passes the focal plane, is going to be smaller on the final sensor. And so the sensor's ability to resolve information from that object is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's basically being cast on fewer and fewer sensor packets known as pixels. So a single sensor pack, right, can only detect one color value, right? So we all know that. That's why we keep getting bigger and better iPhones or whatever the heck, more megapixels, more resolution. But that's the sensor end. The camera itself has an optical end, which is the amount of information it can do optically, and then the sensor can only deal with the amount of information that came through the aperture. Otherwise, it interferes with itself or blends in on itself. So, for example, you have a red thing over there and a white thing over there. The closer they get together, angle-wise, the more they're going to be rendered on the same sensor, which is basically going to make that sensor see it as pink rather than red and white, and so on and so forth. Now, none of these globe ideas or these globe calculators take any of this into account whatsoever. It's all based in orthographic ideal geometry, as if everything is straight rays, straight lines, and you have almost an infinite field of view. So yes, if you map these angles out, right, you'll find that the human eye is 0.02 degrees. What's that?
I think you said the N word.
It was just a slur.
He just wanted to say, ban me, please, for some reason. Dear Mom, I didn't get the job. I stayed up late playing video games. I wasn't able to iron my clothes. I barely made it to the interview on time. When I got there, I was so nervous, my hands were shaking. I couldn't answer any of the questions, and the guy decided not to hire me. I'm so sorry, Mother. But in other news, I did say a racial slur on a Discord the other day.
Nigger.
I hope you're proud of me. Your mother's so proud, bro. All right, who was that so I could ban him?
I missed it both times. I have to go back to the live stream and listen.
All right, look me up.
Alicious knows, but she's holding it back. Come on, Alicious, tell him.
I know what.
She knows why the horizon rises towards eye level. Now, I caught myself there. I almost said to eye level, but the correct term is towards eye level. Yeah, so lo and behold, if you have a flat plane that you're standing on and you chart out the angles of propagations from your vantage point, if you're about 6 feet tall, you end up with an intersection point to the horizon on your feet at approximately 3.5 miles. Interestingly enough, that's about where they say the horizon is on the globe model for a man that's 6 feet tall, or a person that's 6 feet tall. Now, that being said, since this is the critical angle where you can no longer resolve any information, if the angles of propagation and the angles of reception are below that, there's no resolvable information. So anything consumed in that angle would begin to become unresolvable. And since the closest the angle is to that line, which would most probably be on that line, which is level to your feet, which is considered the ground or the water surface, then an object, as it approaches that, the bottom of the object would enter that critical angle first, and therefore, of a necessity, the bottom of the object would become unresolved before the top of the object, meaning that necessarily, according to the way optics works, something will and must disappear from the bottom first as it approaches that angle, as it goes away from you.
That's where the conundrum starts for ball believers. Is it a drop or is it a hump?
Well, we had a good friend back in the day. He's still around. His name was Issa. He went by another moniker, like Flat Earth Lawyer or something like that.
The holding
And he had
court.
he had a very wise words, which is this. He said, if you Globers just never said that the only way things can disappear from the bottom up is because of obstruction, then you might have won the argument. But it's too easy to disprove. People could just go out and see all day long that they can see things beyond the limits that you claimed, but also short-range observations that things could disappear from the bottom without any physical obstruction being necessary. And that's one of the experiential linchpins of the globe model that's used as what is it called? Propaganda for their religious paradigm. You know, it's like our God is the true God because things disappear from the bottom up, and the only way things can disappear from the bottom up is because our God is the true God. The problem is you go out and you see it happen elsewhere, and then you know their God is not the true God.
Sorry, I kind of like blacked out during that. What's happening?
Well, we just want to know if it's a hump or a drop that obstructs boats bottom up.
Water Hills.
Water
Hills. Water Hills all day long.
Yes, Water Hills. I will never put down Water Hills. It'll always be that.
So water doesn't flow in your universe.
See, that's a problem. See, that's a problem, lady, is that the thing is that let's say, for instance, that the Earth is a globe, and that, yes, if there was an apex arc hump in between point A and point B, that would preclude the bottom of something. However, that doesn't negate the fact that the bottoms of things should also be disappearing for other reasons. And so you'd actually have a compounding effect.
Well, you can't hump.
That's the thing is, you see,
it's supposed to drop from your position.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that it can't hump. It's supposed to drop from your position. That's the
yes, but it's not. It's not described as that. It's described as the distance between point A and point B, between you and the object, is a chord line, which is a line that passes through a circle at 2 points. And so between you and it is that chord line. The midline of the chord line has a 90-degree angle to the apex of the arc. That's known as the sagittah. and that's from where all this geometry comes. And then you have an intersecting point of your field of view. So while yes, it is below you in an altitude sense, from your point of view, it is essentially a hump in between point A and point B.
Well, that can't happen if you're looking out horizontally, because the horizontal will be tangent.
What about the hump? Not only between A and B. What about B and C, C and D, E and F? What do we live on? Mogul Earth?
Yeah, lumpy Earth. Hey, that's what. Listen, that's what. What was that guy? Not Jesse Kozlowski, the other guy. Who's that other guy?
Drain the main vein surveyor.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, but there's a different guy. His name's like Justin or something. Dang it.
It's literally what
Jesse.
the oblate
Oh,
spheroid
Jesse.
is.
You talk
Jesse, Jesse Gordon. Yeah.
Jesse Gordon. Yeah.
Yeah, he came in with some data for us to scrutinize, and he basically, this is what he said. He said, my data shows as the boat goes out, it raises in elevation and then lowers in elevation.
Wow.
I was like, dude, what do you live on, bumpy Earth?
Yeah, I mean that's the known model.
Model.
Holy
What
crap,
model?
dude.
Yeah.
Definitely a model. Absolutely.
Let's see. Can you post that in 24? Can you post that in text chat? I want to see the model for the first time in 8 years.
Okay. Hold on.
All right.
Yeah, while you're looking up that, let's all not gloss over that. She just agreed with bumpy Earth.
Mhm.
Well,
I don't think you realize what just happened.
Well, yeah, we did. She just agreed yesterday that planes have angular velocity, so that doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
No, I know you recognize it. I'm just saying she doesn't recognize it. Oh my god. All right, so
Well,
Alishness.
Yep.
I don't want to distract you from looking that up because this is way too complicated.
I'm like trying to find the picture that I commonly see associated with Earth.
Picture.
Yeah, well, it's like a model. It's not actually like.
Pictures. No, a model is a model. A picture is a picture. They're two different words.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here it is. I found it.
They're not synonymous either. I didn't ask you for a picture.
You didn't ask me for a picture. Well, this isn't a picture. Lucky for you. It's your lucky day.
Oh, is it a diagram?
It's this. I don't know what you call this. Here you go.
A cartoon? That looks like a testicle.
I mean, I'm sorry about that.
Dude, what the heck is that abomination?
What the hell is this? What the?
I told you, it's lumpy Earth.
My goodness, lady.
This is a cartoon.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yeah, on hand. Yeah. That's all I got.
How do you
right
measure
now.
elevation changes on that thing?
Hold on a second. Is this an actual model? Is this a scientific model?
I think so because you
Really?
have. I think. Hold on. Let me read it.
My goodness. Well, look, if this is your Earth, you need to call NASA's
Yes.
shop.
That's copyrighted, by the way. You need to call NASA and have them redact over 50 years of actual photos of the Earth because none of them look like that.
I'll let them know. I'll let them
Okay.
know that they need to re-photograph and they need to add in the divot on the side.
This is clearly a heat map. And if you don't know what a heat map is, it has nothing to do with heat. It's just representing data in heat. Which, when they refer to heat,
no, it's not. It's not.
colors.
It's not.
This isn't the gravitational distribution.
Yes, it is gravitational. Yeah, now you got it.
Yeah, but that's a heat map.
Gravity has heat?
No. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so what a heat map is. is it's just representing the variability of the data in colors, and the color heat is the heat.
The gravity is the heat.
No, the color.
The color. Oh, brother.
So the cooler color is the less intensity of the variable, and the hotter color is the more intensity of the variable.
The variable of gravity that doesn't exist.
Or whatever you want. It could be the variable of how many kids skip school.
No, it's gravity. I've seen this about 10,000 times back in 2016.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just telling her that it's a heat map.
Okay, so is it a scientific model? That was the question that was on the board. You said you think so, but you have to look it up.
Yeah, it's like a. Sorry,
Yeah.
I started looking up the gravitational, where gravity was more constant. It was more yeah, don't listen to me.
We hardly do.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Right. So what does the blue portion represent, Alice Smith?
I lost it because I started looking at gravity at the poles versus the equator.
So we're off a scientific model AI. You cock blocking me again.
Well, I want to. We're going to ask her what experiment. Or
What
whatever.
experiment? What experiment? What?
Well, we have to get to is it a scientific model or no?
No, I don't think it is. Honestly,
Okay.
I don't think it is.
Do you know what a scientific model is so you can roll it out?
I don't know how to define a scientific model to.
It's a good thing I do. 29 minutes after the hour. From Indiana State chemistry department, the important point that Becker introduced. I'm sorry, 29 minutes after the hour. The important point that Becker introduced is that the explanation of a natural phenomenon, i.e. model or theory, they equate models and theories together, but I digress, must be testable by experimentation. In other words, once a model is proposed as an explanation of a phenomena, that's not what you did, it can only be considered a scientific model if it can be objectively tested by experiment. End of citation. So, can you that heat map by experiment?
Can you a heat map by no. Because, you can't do an experiment with gravity, right?
Can't do experiments on shapes or on pictures, but on gravity? What the hell is gravity?
Gravity.
Gravity's gravity. That's not circular.
Listen. We're not winding back up again. We're not opening the old wound of what is gravity. We're going around the table again. We're going back around. Yeah, we're going back around again. We need something new. We need a new topic to pick up.
Spectroscopy.
What about it?
What is spectroscopy?
I don't know.
No, that's pretty random. I'm not going to do that to you.
The spectra produced by matter interacts with emits electromagnetic radiation.
Electromagnetic radiation? You talking about light?
That's what the definition says. Yeah,
really?
light.
How can light be electromagnetic when it's neither electric or magnetic?
No, it's a wave.
You sure?
Or no, it's a particle. It's a particle. Sorry.
Oh,
no.
good. That's a stick save.
It's an entropy.
What?
You just made a stick save. You know, in hockey, when they got a really fast slap shot, and the goalie doesn't see it except for the final minuteness of a second, he flips the stick out and hits it with a stick, and stick saves it.
Yeah, Sorry, I had to think about the single slit experiment to remind myself that it is.
Single slit experiment? What the hell is that?
Yeah, That's the experiment that shows whether or not under observation does light change. Does the property of light change?
No, it's not.
Isn't that what it is?
No, and it's not an experiment either.
No, it's a. Let me see what it's actually called. I thought it was called experiment, but
They may call it
single slit
experiment.
diffraction.
Single slit diffraction, correct. So
Yeah, but it
what
was
does that have to do with anything?
No, I was saying I had to remind myself that it was a particle, not a wave, because of that. Because I was thinking about what it was.
It's not because of that.
Well, no, it's not because of that, but that made me. I went through a whole thing in my head with it, and I was like, oh no, wait, it's particle because it XYZ.
Particles XYZ.
Yeah, there's 26 of them, A through Z.
Huh?
Huh?
Whatever.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, whatever.
Okay.
All right, what's the next topic?
Intrapa and extrapa.
It's not extra pa. It's electropa and electrifa.
I know I keep fucking it up because it's so dumb. I just can't get the stick.
What is it?
Never mind, Owlishness. Carry on.
Carry on what?
Carry on with something else, dude. Please. For everything's sacred and holy.
Just don't go there.
Okay. I don't know anything else. What do you?
Oh, so why is this is an interesting topic. A lot of flat earthers are pinned their prick their ears up to this. So how do we know that light is a photon or a discrete chunk of energy? How do we know that?
How do we know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know because what I already said, the single slit diffraction study.
That's not study. That's not the right answer.
That's not the right answer. How do you know that it is?
Yep. How do we know that photons are particles? How do we know that?
Because they cause cancer.
Because they don't have social security numbers.
I've got a sarcastic answer if you want to indulge me.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the experiment that was done is the laser was shined directly into a camera, a film camera. And afterwards, all the particles were shaken out and weighed.
Oh, that's some bullshit, man. That's some Ken Wheeler horse shit right there.
I never understood that anybody would take such a lampoon explanation seriously.
That would just be frame rates, wouldn't it?
Wow.
Frame rates?
You're talking about cameras, right?
Yeah, but what?
Huh?
Alice, are you supposed to be asleep?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me retract that. Are you asleep?
I think so, yeah. I think I'm like 50% asleep. I'm really tired. I keep like losing track of what I'm doing.
You know, you can just go to bed, right?
That's so true.
We actually do offer a service here to neurotic Glovers who can't resist, that we just ban you for 8 hours so you can get a good sleep.
Get a good night's sleep.
I've been banned so many times though. It's like lost its gumption.
Gumption. That's an old term right there.
I mean, you use numpty, so
That's not old.
sounds
That's
old.
British. No, it's British. That's why I use it.
Everyone from England is old though, so everything's old there.
Everyone from England is old. That's some bullshit right there. And that's a stereotype fallacy. Shout out to that crown muncher, what was his name? Simp or something? I don't know.
Do you have like a playbook of fallacies, like a whole playbook dedicated to different types of fallacies that you just like flip through like a Bible every night?
No, I know them all because I've had quote unquote interactions with Evo Tards from about I retired about 2008, and they just carpet bomb barrage me with logical fallacies. So it forced me to learn not all of them because there's like over 500 logical fallacies, but there's a group and globetards such as yourself use the same ones as the Evo Tards, so it was an easy transition.
Okay, I gotcha. Because I can't keep track of all of them.
All right, so how did we figure out light was a photon? Remember that was a question on the table? Remember that?
Right. How do we figure out that light was a photon?
Or light was a discrete chunk of energy. How about that? Not
It acts.
see
It
because
acts
when you
like
say
wave.
particle,
It acts like wave energy, and it acts like matter at the same time.
no,
It's a
it doesn't.
mystery. The truth
No,
is, scientists don't know
no, it doesn't.
exactly what
It's not a
light
mystery,
is.
and it doesn't have anything to do with science.
The truth is, scientists don't know exactly what
It's
light is.
It's not science.
That's
so
true.
scientists have nothing to say about
They
it.
don't know exactly what gravity is either.
Oh Jesus! We're not talking about gravity.
I'm
You're gonna
just
go on
telling you.
mute in a second. You're gonna go Nephilim free.
People don't know exactly
We're
what
gonna
light
go
is.
on to fuck your argument from ignorance fallacy.
Okay, you can believe what you want. I'm
Somebody
just
mute
telling you.
him. Just mute him. He's
Mute him. He
interrupting my
doesn't agree with
discussion.
me. Hurry, help! Oh my
Just mute
gosh!
him.
Please
Help! I
help
don't need
people.
any help from you. You dumpy
Yeah,
dipshit.
you need help.
No, I don't.
Scientists don't know what light is.
It's not a scientific fucking question.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
You just compromised yourself. You would fail 5th grade intro to general science.
You're not a
You
good
just
thinker.
compromised yourself
You're
since
not
the
thinking.
fucking mods won't take
Think out.
control.
Start thinking.
You just compromised yourself
No.
as you would fail 5th grade intro to general science.
Is that why I went to college?
I don't give a fuck what you got. Your parents
Is that why
bribed them.
I studied
You keep
professional?
fucking laughing, you moron.
Oh my
Hey,
goodness, this guy needs to
regardless-
move
Shut
on
the
mommy.
fuck up
space.
before I
regardless,
slap
You
I
know,
want to hear
the
what
first
he
step.
says. Okay, want to hear what Quantum says. It's not going to happen with you constantly interrupting. And then you can ask your questions or rebuttals. All right? Go ahead.
He wasn't even in the fucking discussion. What was the discussion?
You were asking how we
No,
know.
shut up, Owlishness.
Okay, sorry.
AI. What was the fucking discussion?
How did we determine light was a photon?
A particle, yeah, or a discrete chunk of energy. Who was the discussion between?
You and Miss Owlishness.
And then Nephilim, idiot, crown munching dirtbag, just decided to jump in. Why wasn't he muted immediately? That's what I fucking thought.
Variety is the spice of life.
The variety is shit. He interrupted the discussion. You should be fucking all over this. Instead
I'm
of
trying to drink
waiting
this
for the
Sprite.
fucking keywords to come out, the ban. Right? For fuck's sake. Fuck this. I got better things to do.
Bye.
All right, Owlishness, now that your crush is gone, you can go to sleep.
What?
I said, now that your crush is gone, you can go to sleep.
My crush? What are you talking about?
Quantum Eraser.
Oh, I had no idea that I had a
Yeah.
crush on.
Her crush is her cat, actually. So
Okay, I'm not
that's
into
about it.
bestiality. So
Parasites.
thank you.
Parasites.
Okay, yeah,
You
we all
said
know
you
about
love him. You said in here multiple times that you love him.
love who? My cat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do love my cats.
There
And
you go. Your crush.
okay, let's use the word love in like sort of like a little light fashion. We don't want people to think I'm like a Therian or something.
Oh, you also said that children are parasites, and you love your cat. So there's, there's like something weird going on there.
What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.